My presentation today is going to be a lot more informal, as our school has had a lot of changes over the last term. Our AiZ representative, Dale, is actually working at Ruthven as a literacy coach. And so, Glendy, I was asked on Monday to give this presentation today, so bear with me. Penders Grove Primary School is a small school of 160 students with a variety of students from a range of cultural and socioeconomic backgrounds. We have about 30 Indigenous students, along with 3 students with cerebral palsy, 2 being wheelchair bound, and we also have a Croxton special school, the Croxton Special School outreach classroom based at Penders Grove, and they integrate a lot with the grade 3/4s in doing social skills and bounce back program. Through our school strategic plan and annual implementation plan, literacy and numeracy has always been a high priority. And like I said, along with our changes with Dale moving to Ruthven, we've also I've become the early years coordinator alongside with my role as early years numeracy coordinator, that's only happened this year. So it's been a really interesting learning curve. Over the past 4 years, our early years team had concerned about oral language abilities that students were bringing to school in their prep year. We actually started researching through professional reading, Kathy Walker's developmental curriculum professional development sessions, and other various workshops, the importance of oral language, and we began experimenting with changing how we ran our, I guess you would say, combining an investigations approach along with your integrated curriculum, and we sort of started experimenting with that about four years ago. And last year, along with Thornbury, we also became part of the Ross Trust and Darebin Best Start Early Learning Oral Language Project, which continued to support our oral language investigations curriculum. Fortunately, we also were able to have constant workshops and support from our literacy consultant, David Hornsby. So that's been really beneficial. Personally, though, alongside that, I still had been concerned about improving teacher practice and student outcomes in numeracy. It wasn't an area that I was always comfortable with or familiar with. Literacy was more my strong point. And I guess personally I recognised that I really wanted to make some changes with how I was teaching, and when I became numeracy coordinator, with how we were planning our curriculum and then down to the lesson level. Through the AiZ project has supported our school in therefore enabling us to maintain that focus on numeracy as well as literacy. Late last year, I had the opportunity to attend my numeracy coordinator training program, which really supported my own personal journey with improving my own teacher pedagogical discipline and content knowledge of numeracy. I took my newfound enthusiasm back to school, and together as first in teams, we brainstormed, where we thought students should be developmentally in mathematics. Then we came back together as a whole staff and did our own sort of chart on that, and then looked at the mathematics continuum and said, how does that match up? And we're really happy that we found that we were on the same page. Often you find, I found in my experience, you think with the early years and then the middle years that there's gaps, or that kids aren't making links as they go through the levels. And we were starting to looking at that whole school approach to planning mathematics and then developing our curriculum so that we saw improvements and that students were making links as they went up through the levels. We also, 2 of our staff attended Michael Weimer workshops that assisted schools in developing whole school planning to support sequential learning through the levels. And then this year, this was followed by a visit from Peter that actually helped us to reshape our actual lesson plans. And pulling all those sort of things, that learning together, has enabled us to start really improving our mathematics in our school. Okay, what it really highlighted was the visit by Peter was students participating in active experiences involving construction of mathematical ideas with an emphasis on discussion and representation. The visit reinforced our school's existing beliefs in that effective teachers draw out and work with the understanding that their students bring with them. Students also need discussion time and constant reflection on their learning, allowing them to build self-confidence in their own abilities. Peter's visit also highlighted to us the importance of having the opportunity to watch other teachers in action through collegial visits to each other's classroom, and we can all learn from each other in that. We just really enjoyed how the focus on this lesson was students explaining their reasoning, and basically by Peter facilitating student problem-solving abilities by allowing them to use teamwork to reach a plausible solution to a problem. And it was a student and student learning experience rather than student and than teacher and student all the time. And it was a really good lesson too. I modified it. It can be adapted really easy for different levels, and I got to experiment with my grade 1-2 class, but using multiples of 10. So it was really good. I had numbers from 100, from double digits to 3 digits, and I gave kids who I knew were more comfortable with double-digit numbers, those numbers to hang around their necks, and then the students who were more comfortable and wanted to experiment and be challenged by those higher numbers, I sort of threw in a couple of 100s and 200s, and it just made them be able to, they still had to do that same lesson when they had to put themselves in chronological order. So it was really interesting then, and how they really help and support each other to do that. What I also especially noticed was that Peter constantly used different conceptual language to explain the tasks and to scaffold student learning. He gave them time to think and allow for student discussions. It reinforced our own beliefs in allowing students to process mathematical concepts through continually reflecting, substantial thinking time and discussions with peers and teachers. Okay, the visit with Peter highlighted the importance of allowing time for students to explain their reasoning, supported by teachers asking good questions. Students require more than remembering a fact or reproducing a skill. They can learn by answering the questions, and the teacher learns about each pupil from the attempt. And how when even with a couple of those students in that lesson, how that was a high ESL grade. So Peter didn't know the grade before he came in, but when he came in and saw that cohort, he immediately was changing what sort of questions and how he asked those questions to suit those students' needs. Good prompts include, what do you know about, how is this different, the same, explain to me what you're thinking, what was something that was new for you, what was the problem. This visit by Peter enabled me to critically reflect on my own numeracy lesson planning, as well as through my early years numeracy coordinator training and the Michael Weimer workshops that I've been able to go to.